Hello, Scorpio. Welcome back to Marion K Tarot. This will be your month ahead reading for April 2025. I hope you're doing all right, Scorpio. So what we're doing this month, we are going to be pulling one card from the Love Deck of the Sacred Connection collection of cards, which is really difficult for me to say, but anyway, we're going to pull one of these and we're going to see what questions it asks us. Now, because it's love, it is to do with our relationships with a person or people. It's to do with ourselves. It's the romantic connection as well. So we are going to have a look and see what comes up. All right, and there's been some really interesting card pulls so far for some of the signs. In fact, all of the signs have all been very interesting. So can't wait to see what happens with you. So what you been up to, Scorpio? How was March? Things have been pretty quiet in the old Scorpio front. Let's see. Let's see what's coming up here. Okay, so oh oh, this is such a Scorpio question. Okay, what is one thing you think is unforgivable in a relationship? Okay, now this is, I shouldn't laugh, right? Okay, but it's like Scorpio, we both know, right, that very rarely do you offer forgiveness for something, because it's like people should know not to cross you. It's particularly in relationships because it's like, you know, once you're once you're gone, you're gone. One mistake and that's you gone. Um, but what is unforgivable? What do you think? I mean, you could, if you wanted, let me know in the comments, just to see the varying differences that maybe some of you have, or the similarities, because everybody has got their own thoughts on this. So definitely something to think about. Interestingly, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull the cards from the Crow Tarot. This is a deck that I love personally. It felt right for April for some reason. I mean, it's not as dark as you would think. It is some lovely colourful cards in this. But what I wanted to say to you, Scorpio, was right. So before every reading, I have a little meditation, and sometimes I talk about it with the signs, sometimes I don't. But it felt like what came into my mind was actually a title of a film or a movie, whatever word you use. Um and it was from the noughties. I'm sure it was in the 2000s it came out, and it was a Jim Carrey film, and it was Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, and it was called Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. And that title just came charging into my head when I thought about you, when I tuned into your energy, Scorpio. And basically, if you don't know the film, it was quite a kind of niche film. If you're in the UK, it was one of the ones that would probably get shown on like Channel 4 or BBC Two. Um, if you're in the UK, you'll understand. But basically, the premise was that these two people met and they had a relationship, and they split up, and it was too much for them. The pain was awful, and the female character, Kate Winslet, she went to this scientist person, and he he erased her memory, basically. So it was essentially like he erased her memory of this relationship, right? So all trace of the Jim Carrey character, was removed from her mind. And he found out about it, and it's been many years since I've actually watched this film, so bear with me. And he found out, and he went and get the same thing done as well. And it was just the story of, that, and it was a bit niche. It was one of the kind of It wasn't a mainstream film, but I absolutely adored it, and I think it poses a really interesting question. You know, it's like when a relationship ends. I mean, how that pain that we've all suffered. You know, if somebody says, "Well, I could erase it," and it was like you would never have known them, you would never have experienced it. You know, how many people would take that? You know, to have your memory totally wiped to a person. And it explores that question. And I mean, if you can still get it somewhere, you know, um, to stream it somewhere, I don't know if it's probably been, you know, deemed inappropriate for the modern palate. Who knows? But if you can get a hold of it, then um, it might be worth a watch. But it seems to be it just came right into me there. So let's have a look. So between that and then the question that the cards have posed, and then the fact that it's still Venus retrograde. Scorpio, what's been going on? Let's have a look and see, shall we? Let's see what's coming up for Scorpio for April 2025, please. The Lovers, of course, I have the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. Okay. And we have got the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so Scorpio, what the hell? What have you been up to? Right, okay, let's see. I think, feel. I have this really deep-seated feeling. I knew you were going to be interesting this month. I just knew you were, Scorpio. You never fail to amaze me. Now, what does it feel like? It feels like there is something being ushered in this month. And it's to do with our physical selves. I say our, I don't know why I'm saying our, but you know. There's some choices to be made here, Scorpio. And it feels very much that there's several options available to you. Okay. Now whether this is with regards to a romantic relationship or if this is a work situation or it's something to do with you internally, Scorpio, whatever this feels like it relates to, then take it like that. Without a doubt, the fact that the Lovers and the Three of Cups has came up suggests that there is a multiple choice when it comes to relationships. Could there be a third party involved? Possibly. I don't tend to read like that. I don't tend to read those sort of things. But if you are a Scorpio right now and you're watching this and you have came across this video and you're suffering from having a revelation, discovering or something being revealed to you about a partner or a former partner, okay, I'm deeply sorry. Um, it's a horrible thing to go through. But it's for what I want to say to you is it's for the best. It's better to know than not know. Now, what's interesting is as well, when I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, right? The card that I pulled, and I never remember cards, okay, that I pull for signs and people and what I just don't. But I distinctly remember what came through when I pulled a card for the Scorpio Collective for the eclipse that has just happened in Aries, okay? And was it a devil? No, it was Taurus that got the devil. So it was, so I cannot remember what the card was that Scorpio got, but I distinctly remember the message that came through, and it was a final line, and what it was it said, the deception will be revealed. Okay, and I remember channeling that message and thinking to myself, oh, here, that's a bit, that's a bit, and I sat in it. I think I remember it so clearly because I sat and I debated with myself whether or not I was going to include it, and I typed it and then deleted it, and I typed it again, and I think I'd done that about 3 times until the point I was like, all right, fuck it, it's Scorpio, they can handle it. So it's like this interesting. It feels as if this is like a continuation and still like regarding this particular situation. Now, if there has been a deception, Scorpio, I mean, let's face it, you're going to figure it out. You're like human lie detectors. It'll make sense to you if you're one of the Scorpios watching this, and this is what's happened. Okay. Again, I'm really sorry. However, it's better to know these things. I'm then going to speak to you. If you are a Scorpio and you have been doing the deceiving, okay, there is no judgment here. First of all, that's what I want to make clear. There is no judgment. What I would suggest is that you tread carefully, okay, because if you're somebody who is in a situation that could be construed or could be said in societal circles that it's a deceptive relationship, perhaps, um, just tread carefully because it could be that there's somebody onto you. Okay. Um, so I just want to make that clear, and I do want to like speak to both sides of the coin because it's important for me to do that. It's like we all make life choices, and sometimes in life, what we feel, what society tells us is wrong, our hearts or our minds tells us for ourselves in that particular moment in time, it is not wrong. So that's where I'm standing on it. I'm just here to provide the commentary, and the reading is I am interpreting it. So, Scorpio, this month going ahead, make the choice. Okay? Make the choices in yourself. Choose yourself always. Okay? That's the starting point of things. Choose yourself. Is there going to be casualties? There is casualties in whatever decision we make in life. We cannot live our lives in the pursuit of protecting others. Okay, whilst we don't openly go, I would like to think the vast majority of people, particularly if you're watching my channel, we don't deliberately set out to hurt people, innocent bystanders. But sometimes there's just things happen, life happens, situations occur, and we find ourselves in situations that if we could choose, we didn't expect us to do that. So as I said, tread carefully this month, Scorpio. Show kindness to yourself, and whenever you can, show kindness to others, but ultimately look after yourself first. Okay. Best of luck, Scorps. Scorps? Do you like me calling you Scorps? No, it's Scorpio. Have a good month. whatever you get up to. Okay, take care. Lots of love. Bye.